another one that we just lost recently, Thich Nhat Hanh. His website is plumvillage.org. He's just such a wise, grounded soul. One of the things that I ran into was that somebody asked him the question, how do you keep yourself from losing faith in humanity and giving up altogether when there's so much violence and so much division and so much madness in the world? And so what he said was, there's a practice called taking refuge in Buddhism. You want to feel safe and protected, and you want to feel calm. But if you don't learn how to take refuge, you'll lose your peace, you'll lose your feeling of safety and your calm. You'll suffer, and you'll cause other people to suffer. And he said that each of us has the seed of Buddhahood, the capacity of being calm, being understanding, being compassionate, taking refuge in that island of safety within us. He said, this is how we can maintain our humanness, our peace, and our hope. This practice is so important. He gives a practice that is just a little bit of an idea about how you do what he's suggesting. And he said, if you practice like this from the inside, you basically become an island of peace and of compassion, and you might even inspire other people to do the same. And the analogy that he gives, it's like a boat filled with people crossing the ocean. If they encounter a storm and everybody panics, the boat will capsize. But if there's one person in that boat who can remain calm, that person can inspire other people to be calm. And then there can be hope for the whole boatload of people. And he says, and he asks, who is that person who can stay calm in the situation of distress? He says, in Buddhism, that's you. You have to be that person. And if you do, then you'll be the savior of all of us. He says it's a very strong practice. So I could feel the peace and the calm in that. And I could feel that he was kind of returning me to myself and helping me to understand that it didn't matter what was going on out there, that the responsibility lied on me to create my own peace. And then hopefully, if I was able to create my own peace and my own balance, that other people would notice and that it would be infectious.
Yes.
And would help other people be the same and inspire them in that way. So I really liked the energy of that little teaching and that perspective. I could just really feel myself calming inside.
So powerful.
It was very empowering.
That was a really powerful one. Very
Yeah.
helpful too.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of chaos, we can so easily just become chaotic.
Yeah.
And it's the self-awareness when you realize I can be calm right now and be the calm one. It's a choice. That's a powerful practice. When they say, if you can meditate on a mountaintop, in nature, I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, who can't at least attempt meditation?
Right.
But to meditate on a busy corner of New York City,
yeah,
can you do that? And that's Buddhism, the calmness. And especially how you were reading it, I was like, oh yeah. Bring it, Alecia. Bring it. Yeah. Feeling all calm. Speaking of peace, that's good.
Yeah. Buddha, what's the phrase that I've said it before? It's like the pain is inevitable, but the suffering's optional. And the suffering's based upon perspective. It's how we choose to view things that we're seeing and that we're going through. And so I would just like to encourage people to Google Buddha and the Four Noble Truths. And that's kind of a little bit of a framework about suffering. It explains what suffering is, the cause of it, how to end it, and how to take the path out of it. So that's a real good resource to start to get a little bit of perspective about why we may not be feeling so good inside, and how to get rid of some of that rub that we have.
Yes. There's a lot of wisdom when you can find the enlightenment in the suffering. We've talked about it a million times. And when change happens, that is the beginning of the transformation process.
Yeah.
And so in the suffering of loss or whatever catastrophe that's happening in your life, and collectively we're all going through some form of suffering, that's essentially what Buddha is saying. That's beautiful. Great resource.